is the English translation of the historical account of Juana Flores. Although detailed historical records from that era are scarce, and many names were lost in the mists of time, the name of Juana Flores, occasionally cited in local chronicles of Santiago and Moca, has remained as a symbol of the resistance and the drama of the captives of 1805. Juana Flores was one of many women from the Cibao region, likely from the vicinity of Santiago or Moca, who lived in a society of blancos de la tierra, whites of the land. These were families of small-scale farmers, many of them free mulattoes who identified deeply with Hispanic culture. During the retreat of Jean-Jacques Dessalines' troops following the failed siege of Santo Domingo, Juana was captured along with thousands of other civilians. The accounts tell that she witnessed the horror within the churches, seeing relatives and neighbors fall before being driven at bayonet point toward the western border. The Way of the Cross, to the west. Juana was part of the columns of prisoners who traveled hundreds of kilometers on foot. The story of these women was particularly tragic. It is told that many exhausted women had to choose between watching their children die of hunger or leaving them in the hands of strangers along the path, in the hope that someone might rescue them. Juana achieved what few could, surviving extreme exhaustion. Those who fell to the ground from fatigue were executed, so as not to delay the military march. She walked barefoot over the rocks of the Cibao and the frontier mountains, nourishing herself with roots and the meager scraps the soldiers allowed. Once in Haitian territory, Juana Flores was assigned to domestic or agricultural labor under a regime of servitude. She lived there for years, surrounded by a culture and a language, Haitian Creole, that were foreign to her. Despite the pressure to integrate, she kept her Catholic faith and her Spanish language alive in private. What makes the figure of Juana Flores special is her return. Unlike the thousands who died on the plantations or ended up being forcibly assimilated, Juana was able to return to the Dominican side years later, possibly during the period known as the España Boba, or following the weakening of Haitian control in certain border zones. Upon her return, Juana became one of the living sources who narrated to new generations what truly happened on the road to Haiti. Her testimony helped put a name and a face to a tragedy that the Haitian government of the time tried to present as a unification, but which for Dominicans was an attempt at cultural extermination. She represents the group of Dominicans who, despite being mulattoes, refused to accept the identity that was being forced upon them.